Hey guys, what's up? This is Matthew Davis Media once again. Welcome back to another movie review. Halloween is in a few weeks, and basically it's that time of year where I sit down and watch a bunch of horror movies, okay? And this time I'm going to do a movie review for a movie that was supposed to get a remake this year, but because of the pandemic, it's been pushed back to next year. So since Halloween is coming up, and because of that, I think this was the perfect time to talk about this movie. I'm going to be reviewing the 1992 horror film Candyman, okay? I just got done rewatching this movie on Blu-ray. Looks really good on Blu-ray. And it took a while for them to get an American release of this movie on Blu-ray, but Shout Factory, Screen Factory released the theatrical and unrated version on Blu-ray. So yeah, now I get to talk about it. So if you don't know what Candyman is, it's a slasher horror film about the legend of Candyman. A long time ago, this man was killed by people just spreaded honey around him, and he was killed to death by a bunch of bees. They sawed off his hand and replaced it with a hook. And years later, a woman named Helen is trying to learn more about the urban legend of Candyman, okay? If you say his name 5 times in the mirror, then he'll appear right behind you and possibly kill you. But when she summons Candyman for the first time, he doesn't really show up. However, later down the line, she starts to notice Candyman when she randomly shows up, and apparently it's controlling her mind and it's making her seem like she's a bad person. Like, there's a part in the movie where she commits a crime that she didn't really commit. Candyman basically made her do it, and from now her life is starting to become a living hell when Candyman starts getting to her. Her marriage starts getting a lot more complicated now. And from here on out, it's more than just a slasher film. This is a really chilling movie, okay? Like, rewatching this film, it was a lot more chilling the second time I watched it, okay? First, let me get into one of the most positive things about this movie. Tony Todd as Candyman. He is excellent in this movie. He is tense. The way he sounds and the way he looks, it's absolutely outstanding. Even though he doesn't have, like, Freddy Krueger makeup, he's still really chilling. Like, seeing that hook for the first time in his stump, like, he was just... the effects for this movie look really, really well done, especially for the bees. Like, I think they might have used actual bees for this movie. If that's the case, then that is really impressive, okay? Vanessa Matson is also really good in the movie as the main female protagonist of the movie. She's basically, trying to have a normal life when she discovers, more about the Candyman later down the line. But of course, when Candyman starts getting to her, yeah, things start going bad for her. Like, there's a part where a baby gets kidnapped. They don't know what the baby is dead. They blame it on her, but during the last act of the movie, which I kind of want to say what happens at the end, but some people might not have seen this movie before, even though this movie is like years old. But if you've seen the movie, then you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. Honestly, I thought the ending to this movie... Honestly, I don't think it could have ended more perfectly for me. And honestly, I don't think there should have been 2 more sequels. And yeah, there are sequels to this movie, but of course, unsurprisingly, not as good as this movie. I've never seen them. Don't really plan on watching them. But yeah, I am really looking forward to the remake, though, okay? So yeah, after years later, it still holds up pretty well. And I'm really surprised. One thing I didn't notice until I rewatched the film was how much jump scares this film has in the first act of the movie. Like, they're pretty false, and it kind of got a little irritating, but after that, the beginning act of the movie is a little bit too slow, and it involves some of these characters that you don't really get to see that much in the movie, but honestly, I think they're just there just because they need to have characters, but mostly it focuses on the one main protagonist of the movie. And I feel like, so yeah, basically characters are just there just to be there for the most part. I mostly cared about Virginia Madsen's character, okay? Also, the movie is really gory. Like, I was really surprised. Like, I didn't remember it being this gory. Like, basically you don't really see a lot of bodies getting cut up or sliced by the Candyman, okay? But there are moments of the movie where you just see their bloody dead bodies, and it's basically bloody when it needs to be bloody, okay? Like, it shows the deaths when it has to show the deaths, okay? And honestly, the violence, it's really disturbing, okay? Like, it was a lot more disturbing than I remember. And honestly, it doesn't feel just like a slasher film. Like, Candyman doesn't show up throughout a lot of the movie. Like, he doesn't kill that much in the movie. You mostly just see the corpses, and it's honestly really tense, and I think it holds up really well. all in all, Candyman was a lot better than the first time I watched it. Okay, it's very tense, it's very chilling, and it's gonna really, like, if you haven't seen this movie before, be prepared, because there are aspects of the movie that even to this day feel really disturbing today. Okay, another thing I want to mention is Philip Glass's score. He does an excellent job with the score. Like, the main theme to the movie, I thought the score, it just fit the movie so well, and I think it's one of the most underrated horror scores of all time. It fit the mood to the movie, like the piano and stuff, the piano theme, it was just incredible. All in all, Candyman is a 90s horror classic, okay? While the first act is pretty slow paced, it definitely picks up when we see more of Candyman later down the line, and honestly, it had me thinking what was going on throughout a lot of the movie, and all in all, I could say it's, for the most part, definitely worth your time. I'm gonna give Candyman a 4 out of 5. It could have easily been a 4.5 out of 5, but at the same time, you know, the first act is a little slow, but for the most part, it's a lot more interesting once it gets to the latter act of the movie. And yeah, I can definitely see why this movie's getting a remake. Hopefully, it will be just as good as this movie, okay? So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Word out.